G'day there guys, Markee here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship with your favorite Aussie reader, Markee. Today we'll be covering 2 updated stories, so I do hope you enjoy them. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, like the video, comment what you think down below. But without further ado, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie. Let's get right into it. Posted by user Edition Familiar 655, titled, "Am I the asshole for kidnapping my baby, causing my husband to have a panic attack?" I, 29 female, recently started working again after having my daughter, 4M. Daycare is too expensive, so my husband, 35 male, reluctantly agreed to stay home. It's important to know that he's been unemployed since 2021. He receives benefits. It's also important to know that he is extremely lazy. He doesn't cook, clean, or help out in any way. I was nervous about leaving her home with her father, but I had no choice. When I came back from work, she was clean and sleeping. The next few times I came home, he was either playing with her, feeding her, or out for a walk with her. I was happy. A few days ago, my neighbor told me that as soon as I leave, the baby cries, and she cries for hours. My neighbor said that she knocked on our door and he finally answered it. He was sleeping. I concluded that he sleeps all day, and right before I come home, he pretends to care for her. I decided to take the day off of work. I left home at my regular time, waited 30 minutes, and then went home. Sure enough, he was knocked out asleep with his stupid noise-cancelling headphones on. I went to my daughter's room, scooped her up, and took her to my friend's house. I waited about 2 hours, and I finally came to tell him that I was coming home early. He called me back saying that he can't find the baby. He told me that he was going to call the police, but before he did, I told him what I did. He called me an asshole and a lot of other words too. When I got home, his mother was there calming his nerves because he had a panic attack. She called me an asshole too. My husband decided to sleep at her house. Family members are telling me that I'm a terrible person. I know that it was extreme, but I don't know if I would consider myself to be an asshole. In the comments, Dense Passion says, "Sleeping with noise-cancelling headphones as the only adult in the home caring for a 4-month-old? Absolutely not the asshole." OP says, "Yeah, I hate those stupid things. He wears them all the time and spent money that we don't have on them." You're lucky that your neighbor told you and didn't just call CPS, because this is neglect and dangerous. I would divorce my husband over this, period. I'm not a fan of Reddit's frequent suggestions to divorce the dude, but in this case, I totally agree with it. He put your child in incredible danger. Well, generally, I think there are many valid reasons to get a divorce. If your significant other calls you names when undeserved, like trash or useless. It's divorce time. Neglect of a child is definitely another reason. Not the asshole. He is not an appropriate caretaker for your child, and if I were you, I'd be reconsidering this relationship completely. OP says, "I am." Don't feel guilty about reevaluating your life, okay? Your child is dependent. Your husband is independent. He is not the baby anymore, and we all at times rethink our decisions and come up with better plans for the future. Be well. I'm sorry this came as such a shock to you, truly. Your child's welfare is more important than your marriage vows. Don't make the mistake of agreeing to his mother providing the supervision if you go to court. I allowed it, and his mother did nothing to stop the abuse. My now 16-year-old has complex PTSD because of it. Throw the whole paternal side in the dumpster, and maybe you'll get lucky, and a dumpster fire will just happen. I've been reading about complex PTSD lately, and I want to echo this for OP. Leaving an infant alone like that will cause lifelong damage to their ability to form healthy attachments to other people. Someone could have actually kidnapped your child, or she could have gotten sick or choked or needed a nappy change. He is neglecting your child. I cannot believe his mum, her grandmother, hasn't torn him a new one over this. Find a good childcare and leave him. I do not encourage divorce usually, but I'm not sure that I could ever trust that man again. Ditto his mum, not the asshole. OP says, "The daycare that I can get her into won't take her until she's 6 months old. I'm going to have to change my schedule. I can work all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My mum, sister, friend, and cousin will help me a bit until I can get her into the daycare. And my take on this one is, that is absolutely an amazing idea, OP. Distance yourself and your child from this man as much as possible. I actually don't know how he's been getting away with this for 4 months, and your neighbor could sit on this for 4 months until they told you about this. How CPS hasn't been called in that time is astounding to me. I'm not blaming anyone for that, it's just, wow. Real life really does baffle me. Echoing the commenter, Civil Rain, your child's welfare is more important than your marriage vows. This is definitely more than enough reason to divorce this man and get as much as you can from him in the divorce. You say that you know that it was extreme what you did, and you don't know if you would consider yourself to be an asshole, so therefore you're questioning whether your actions here could have made you an asshole in this instance. It's obvious that you were just testing them to see if the in-laws could read between the lines, in that you had been gone for 2 hours and he hadn't been monitoring the house to see if the baby had disappeared within those 2 hours. I really want to know what lies he's told this family in order to get them on his side, but I'd imagine it's just the usual shit that they're used to, and that they will always take his side because maybe he's a little mama's boy. Who knows? We see this a lot on Reddit, and it's always kind of dangerous for everyone involved that isn't the one being protected. Back up to the post, we have an update. Sorry, I created this account to just post my story. I'm not a big Reddit user. I missed so many wonderful messages from people. The last few days have been crazy. Once I finally told everyone what happened, many took my side. My ex-husband and mother-in-law still think I'm a jerk. My friend allowed my daughter and I to move in with her, which is nice. We were living in a bad area before, so this can be a fresh start. My ex-husband has not asked to see my daughter for the past week. Online, he's saying how I ruined his youth by trapping him with a baby. At 35 years old, what? I don't care anymore. I'm in a nice routine with my daughter. I took her to the hospital, and they found signs of neglect. I explained the situation. The doctor advised me to press charges against my ex-husband, and I think I will. But I'm safe, my daughter is safe, and to be honest, I probably won't come back on Reddit. But I wanted to thank everyone for everything. And wouldn't you know it, there is an update. Titled, My 30 female, ex-husband, 36 male, wants me to be a surrogate for him and his girlfriend because her body is too perfect to ruin. Yikes. A few months ago, I made a post about my ex-husband. Since then, we have had little to no communication except through a third party because we have a daughter together. He does absolutely nothing for her. He asked for full custody because he didn't want to pay child support. I finally got him to agree to supervised visits and 0 child support. The last 3 months I haven't spoken a word to him, and he hasn't seen our daughter. But recently, he's been telling me about his hot 18-year-old girlfriend. Now, the reason why he told me is because we agreed to tell each other about our relationships since the person would interact with our daughter. But he's always accidentally sending me nudes or bikini pictures of her, or accidentally sending me messages meant for her. The other day, he told me that he wants to have a baby with her. He's irresponsible and she's immature, so they would make horrible parents. But he wants me to carry their child. Why? Because her teenage body is so hot and sexy, and that I'm old and used. I have no idea why he would even ask me. Why is he telling me about her body? Why does he want me involved in any sort of way? It's all so weird. In the comments, not for the comment in oh god, says, it's only January 1st, but I can confidently say he will win the 2024 prize for sheer audacity. A little weird? Good grief, this guy needs to be the poster child for what went wrong during my lobotomy. Ask for your lawyer to revisit child support. Give him a good laugh. But if he can afford more children, save all you can and videotape him. Seriously, this could work to your advantage. He's the poster child for I got my lobotomy at Claire's. That's how he met his new girlfriend. Duh. Remote Viewing Life says, He wants you to be jealous of his new girlfriend because he got someone, in his mind, better than you. I think I have the answer that will shut him down quickly. Sending unwanted nudes, I believe, is illegal. I'm sure that you probably deleted ones, but once he does it again, call the police and report it. Also mention that he says she is 18, but you're not sure. I think he'll figure out to send it to the correct person pretty quickly. OP says, that's actually a really good idea. Sending nudes without her consent is very illegal. Not to mention if they were taken before she was 18, that could get them in a lot of trouble if they weren't. Get him to confirm this request over text and then take him to court for full custody of your daughter, all the child support, and block him. Why did you agree to no child support? Please get what you were owed and cut him out of your life. What a disgusting pig. F that guy. This OP, child support is your daughter's right. Even if you don't need it now, you can save the money for a college fund for her education. All that money could be used as a medical emergency fund. Do not let him use your pride to avoid his responsibilities. OP says, it was by text. He's supposed to contact the third party, but he's recently been contacting me. That's only for emergencies. So stop responding. Call your lawyer, get a third-party app, and possibly file harassment charges. None of this is an accident, but he keeps doing it because you were just letting him. A 35-year-old man saying his youth was ruined by having a child at 35. Once again, the relationship bar is so low, they're fishing for it in Hades. Yeah, I dislike people like this. He clearly doesn't give one single care about his own kid and just wants to hurt OP and make her jealous. Also, I don't know the age gap of the husband, but the fact that he's seeing an 18-year-old because she is sexy makes me feel quite ill. What a creep. Definitely unstable, and I feel bad for OP and the kid. OP needs to get child support and block this asshole for good. Yeah, this story has left me quite ill after the fact because that 18-year age gap between the 36-year-old and the 18-year-old is not good. Also, I'm not judging you, OP, for agreeing to no child support but supervised visitations. But yeah, as a lot of people have said here, I think you need to now fight for full child support. And potentially no more visitations because he's shown that he does not care, he will never care, and that he is a menace to society. Whether it be audacity or dangerous mental illness, his request that you be a surrogate mother so his teen girlfriend doesn't ruin her body is sick. It is so sick. Genuinely, what a freak of nature this man is. I want to lock him up before he locks down any more teenagers. I would keep your child away from this man. Who knows what he is capable of? This is going to be a very entertaining court case if it ever goes that far. That's for sure. Although I need to stop myself before I start going off the rails with this pit of disgust welling up in my stomach, I'd like to know what you guys think of this one down in the comments. Please help me. Our next post is by someone that deleted their account. Who knows why? Titled, My wife, 37 female, and I, 40 male, are arguing about her father, 65 male, moving in with us. What should I do? There is a lot of background here, so I'll try to keep it to what's relevant. Married 10 years, dated 3 before that, we have 2 kids. Her parents are divorced. Her mum comes from a wealthy family, and when her parents got married, her family did a lot of legal and financial stuff and prenups and stuff to keep the money safe. Growing up, her mum was busy a lot and was the primary breadwinner. Her dad really was the one who raised her. He was the one who took her and picked her up from school, who helped her with her homework, and went to her shows, plays, games, etc. When she was 12, it turned out her mum had been having an affair, and it led to her parents divorcing. This is where her mum's family's money comes in. They were able to afford very good lawyers, and her money had already been locked up tight, so she wound up with custody, and he left the marriage with not very much to his name, and since he had spent so much time raising her, he had neglected his own career. He struggled after that. My wife has a fraught relationship with her mother. She never really forgave her mother for the affair, the divorce, and her destroying his life, and then once she was a teenager, she chose to move in with her dad. So that's a bit of background. She remained close to her dad to this day. He's been an active part of our lives, and he spends a lot of time with our kids, who both love him. But he's been struggling. COVID was really hard for him because he really couldn't work. He fell behind on his bills, and he's been struggling to catch up ever since. He's now about to be evicted. My wife wants him to move in with us. She says it's absolutely unacceptable to her for him to be homeless when we have a basement that we can move him into. But the thing is, the basement is my space. It's set up to be my retreat, and now she wants to turn it into a bedroom for him. We've been arguing about this because she says that she won't allow him to be homeless, and my point is he won't be homeless. He has a place that he can go with his sister, but she lives on the other side of the country. My wife hates that idea. She says she wants him to be a part of her and our kids' lives, and not on the other side of the country. He's not a bad guy. I don't hate him or anything. I just want some space for our family. My wife's position is that he is family, and he can help with the kids. She's accusing me of caring more about my man cave than the well-being of her father. That's an exaggeration. He isn't going to be homeless. He can move in with his sister. This argument is starting to become pretty ugly now, and she's threatening to take the kids and move out to find a place with him if I won't agree to let him move in here. I resent that threat. I'm starting to wonder if this really is a hill that I should die on. On the other hand, I'm shocked and angry that my wife seems ready to throw away our whole marriage over this. In the comments, Garden Gnome 1609 says, "You do care more about your man cave than both your wife and your father-in-law. Get another TV. You can hang out in your bedroom. Jesus, dude. Your solution involves your wife never seeing her father and your kids growing up without him so that you can go sit in your basement occasionally. Holy shit. Are you kidding me? First of all, before we touch on the father-in-law part, where is his wife's basement-sized relaxation space? Does she have one? Second, he is a staple in your children's lives. You're willing to make that disappear? Because if he is on the other side of the country, he's not going to be with them. You'd be robbing your children of the time left with him. Third, you'd be robbing your wife of the time remaining with him. I am so mad at you, and I don't even know you. When my grandfather died, my parents didn't hesitate to bring my maternal grandmother into our home, and my dad and her didn't even necessarily like each other. My grandmother was a critical old lady, blind to her own faults, as much as she was loved by us, but when she was end of life, my dad was retired, and he was her primary caregiver, despite them never getting along all that well. Because my dad loves my mum, who loves her mum. There was never a question about any of this. Your father-in-law is still here, himself, and relatively healthy. If you prevent your wife from enjoying this time with him, you might as well get your divorce papers in order, because you will kill your marriage. You are ready to throw away your marriage for protecting your man cave. She is protecting her father. Maybe you have a sister in a different state that you could live with instead if it's no big deal. Yes, why is your man cave so much more important than your family? She's looking out for someone she loves dearly. You are looking out for your man cave. You keep saying that you're looking out for our home space, but it's your man cave, not your family's. You need to decide that you love your family more and come to an agreeable solution. OP, people have given you very good advice. Please talk to your wife, and I hope that you come to a good conclusion. Quote, she decorated the living room and kitchen, so I should get my own space. End quote. Sure, because the space where everyone hangs out and is a place to do chores is her space because she wants the couch to match the floors and curtains. Yeah, honestly, this is a very rough situation, and I'm fully on OP's wife's side. Ha, got you with that one. The magic in a lot of these posts is that the person writing them is usually smart enough to craft a narrative where you can kind of empathize with them and be like, wow, the person who's asking for something that's reasonable is actually evil now that you put it like that. The problem here is that OP hasn't given me enough of a reason to side with him, and why his man cave is more important than shipping this screwed over father-in-law across the country. He doesn't actually provide a genuine reason at all. He keeps just saying, I just need my own space. I just need my man cave. He has other options that are so much better. I'm not going to empathize with his position or put myself in his shoes because that is too much mental effort. Sucks to suck, but my family deserves my man cave. I do see this ending in divorce and a broken family in some regard if OP doesn't change his ways. It does suck that I can imagine a world where people do bend the knee to egregious actions like this that screws over elderly grandparents that would love to live with you, help raise your kids, and just help being a part of something that they created and that they are more than welcome in if there isn't a dickhead partner in the way of it. It breaks my heart to see that that may be a potential reality, but yeah, you're an asshole, OP. Back up to the post, we have an update. I'm going to talk to my wife about getting him an in-law suite in our yard that he can stay in permanently and give up the basement until we can build it. The comments have helped me play out how the most likely scenarios would go. Just so everyone knows whose side you're all taking here, she's a spoiled, rotten princess who grew up with a silver spoon in her mouth. Everything she has was given to her. Between my salary and the trust fund her grandparents left her, she doesn't need to work, but she does anyways and complains she needs her dad's help with the kids. I'm a surgeon and she's an interior designer. Which one of us contributes more to humanity? She's a shallow, vapid woman who decorates houses while I'm saving lives. Say less, OP. You love your wife, I can tell. You really love your shallow, vapid wife. Oh my god. Steve Harvey, words to describe someone you love and cherish. And now, onto the update, which is written by none other than OP's wife. Titled, My husband is too busy and too important to care about our children, and I'm sick of it. My husband is a surgeon, and according to him, he's the most important person in the world, a god among men who casually determines life or death, and is far, far too important to be bothered by the trivial concerns of us mere peons. Concerns like, maybe you should spend some time with your effing kids. But oh no, you see, he works so hard and has so much pressure that when he's home, he has to be sequestered from the annoying sounds of our girls playing, or, being happy to see him. My dad has picked up the slack. He's been the one that's changed their diapers. I drop them off at school and go to work. Dad picks them up and stays with them until I get home. My dad was the one who taught them to ride a bike. My dad is the one who shows up to the plays and dance recitals. He's the one that helps with the homework. My dad is the one who dresses as Santa. My dad is the one who does Easter egg hunts and tea parties. My husband is far too important for any of that. And despite the fact that my husband has absolutely no interest in our kids, he is still pissed that the kids are closer to my dad than him. So, my dad is now struggling financially. We have the means to help him, but my husband doesn't want to. He would rather see my dad move to the other side of the country and removed from our kids' lives. I put my foot down, and he goes on to Reddit to whine about it. Well, now I'm here too, dear. You want to whine about our marriage on Reddit? I can do it too. Updates. Wow, this all blew up. I was so angry when I posted this, I'm now just drained. He came by yesterday to pick up some things, and we argued. The girls were out with my dad because I knew this would be a fight, and I didn't want them around for this. He said awful things, just awful, about me, my dad, and the girls. After he left, I talked to my mum. We have a difficult relationship, but if there's one person I want in my corner going into the divorce, it's her. The divorce is happening. I saw an attorney that my mum recommended today. I'm really, really glad that I went through with that prenup that my mum wanted when we got married now. At this point, I won't speak to my soon-to-be ex-husband. My lawyer is doing my talking for me. I'm exhausted. Thank you everyone for all the support. It helped to read the comments and know that people supported me. He made me feel so small and stupid yesterday, and he said awful things about our girls. I'm not mad anymore, I'm just heartbroken. Our girls deserve better than this. I really wanted better for them. I just wanted to have a family and a nice home. Now I'm just going through a divorce like my parents. I never wanted this. I tried so hard to keep this all together so we didn't wind up here, but I failed. In the comments, Blade of Grass Dewdrop says, "Your dad's a great dad and grandpa. Your kids will know that." OP says, "The kids love him. He's been a daily fixture in their lives since they were born. They know him better than they know their father. Maybe it's time to put dad on the payroll for all the caregiving duties. It's not money given to him, but money owed to him for the work he does." Linny Pixie says, "I work with doctors, including surgeons. I don't know a single male surgeon that doesn't have a side chick and is not divorced, often multiple times. Surgeons are a mess, and they are the last people that I would ever date. Yes, I know there are good ones, but they are extremely rare." My ex-fiance's dad was a surgeon, and while we were dating, he introduced his entire family to his side chick and moved her into their home, instructing his grown sons to call her mum, and his then wife to move into the guest room. She eventually moved into an apartment and then offed herself 6 months later. The callousness that all of those men showed that woman was what broke us up. I couldn't believe it. His dad had no accountability or remorse. Pretty Green Feather says, "I commented on his post before I saw yours. I'm a surgeon married to a surgeon, and I am so sorry. Yes, the work is demanding, but this is just him being a complete tool and a narcissist. The job just happens to feed into it. I wish you every happiness for you and your girls, and I am so sorry this is happening." And back to the original post, the wife comments, "I'm done. This isn't about the man cave or the space, and you know it. We have the money to help my dad. We have a 7-bedroom effing house with a pool house and a movie theater. This isn't about space or money. This is about you being petty and jealous that the girls are closer to my dad than you. Get this through your thick effing head. That's your fault. For 9 years, everything else in your life has been more important than the girls. You work 70 hours a week, and when you're not at work, you go golfing with people you work with, or you're at a medical conference with the people that you work with, or you're dragging me to some fundraiser with the people you work with. When you are at home, you need to sequester yourself because the sound of my children playing annoys you. You seem to conveniently forget that they are your children too. You only seem to remember that part when I want to move my father in to help me with our girls. It's amazing how you can be so smart and so effing stupid at the same time. You're upset the girls love dad more than you, and you are such a petty and small man that your solution is to ship him off out of their lives and break our girls' hearts. But you don't plan to actually be a part of their lives. You just want my dad gone. I won't effing let you take him out of their lives. The family is me, the girls, and my father. Your family are the people that you work with, and you're married to your job, not me. Well, you can have it. Don't come home, stay at the hospital, or go to your house. Side girl's house. Yeah, I know about her. I don't effing care anymore. I'm done. I'm done trying to make this marriage work. I'm done begging you to be a father. The girls won't miss you anyways. You've never shown an interest in their lives, and I am done letting you hurt and neglect my children. They deserve someone in their life that loves and cares for them and shows interest in them. You don't. You want to drag this out onto Reddit? Then fine. Let's do this on Reddit. I'm divorcing you. We are done. Go save the world. You're free. By the way, you're worse than your parents. They may have been weird and misguided, but they were a part of your life. And now he wants to talk about this in private, everyone. Now he has a problem with this being on Reddit. You're the one who brought it here, honey. Deal with the bed that you made. Further into the comments, on the topic of if it was about the man cave, OP says, it had nothing to do with the space. He was pissed off that the girls are closer to my dad than him, and he is such a small, insecure man that he would rather break our girls' hearts and take my dad from their lives than do anything. We have the space and the money. We have an effing pool house that we will be moving my dad into. He's not even really going to lose his man cave. This was never about his man cave. There is no coming back from this. He would rather break our girls' hearts than to be a part of their lives. He was complaining to me the other day that if my father was here, then he would be playing with the girls when he was home, and the sound would annoy him. I just can't explain the rage I feel when I think about my husband, the father of my children, being annoyed at the sound of his girls being happy. On what her marriage is like, OP says, "I'm not a stay-at-home parent. I also have a job. I'm also the only parent in this marriage. Everyone acts like I'm not working full-time too, but I still manage to make time for the kids. I get the kids up and dressed for school. My dad picks them up and stays with them until I get home. Kids get out at 3 and I'm home by 6. My dad is there to pick the kids up and stays until I get home. Husband has no part in this." In my opinion, his concern about the children preferring their grandparent over him indicates a genuine desire to connect with his kids. What? I've heard this before, but nothing ever changes. He complains and then tells me he has to go out of state to some medical conference and we'll talk about it later, and we never do. He just text messaged me now, "I have surgery, we'll talk about this tonight." And yes, he always has surgery when we need to talk about this. It's like clockwork. It never fails. On the future of her marriage, OP says, "The mods locked that comment. Not sure why. And yes, we are headed to divorce. I'll be sending the papers to the effing hospital." Ooh, that's cold. Dad's moving in, he's moving out. We'll figure out the house and the divorce. I probably shouldn't say anything else at this point until I talk to an attorney. And I guess to wrap this whole thing up, that really is some nasty business in the end, after everything is said and done. I don't think anyone is really that happy with this situation unfolding. No one wants to see a divorce if it doesn't need to happen, but this feels like a long time coming, especially since OP knew about him having side chicks. I say side chicks as that's a potential, at least we know about one, but hey, where there's smoke there's fire. Again, that's so cold that she's sending the divorce papers to the hospital. So let's just air out some more dirty laundry to the whole staff. Maybe this will sour his reputation, but hey, at the same time, we've seen so many anecdotes of people in those comments saying it's just normal for a lot of surgeons to go through multiple divorces. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I wish that wasn't a thing. Can people just be normal, please? At least now you can move forward without this controlling, insane asshole in your life, OP. That's definitely something to celebrate, and I think it is so funny that he deleted his account and that post because he couldn't handle the truth. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to have to love you and leave you for today's episode. I really do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments down below. Again, subscribe if you haven't, because why not? Don't you love these long Reddit stories? I know I do. With that said, I do hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.